I remember listening to one of my daughters learning how to count when she was a little girl. And when she got to 11, what came next seemed normal but wrong. Because she said these words. After 10, she said 11-teen, 12-teen, 13, and so on. Well, why not? Seems logical. And Jesus had one of those logical moments on our 260 journey. Our journey through the New Testament brings us to John chapter 14. And when you get to the last verse in John 13, which is verse 38, it happens. Jesus' 11-teen moment begins to take place, is one following 38. I'll explain that in a second. Because it's not supposed to, but it does. In this passage, one should be coming after 38, not 39. It's kind of the 11-teen thing. I have read John 14, 1 through 6 at many introductions of funerals. And here are Jesus' words that get reserved for many times at a funeral home. Let me read it to you. Do not let your heart be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many dwelling places. If it were not so, I would have told you. For I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself. For where I am, there you may be also. And you know the way where I'm going. Thomas said, Lord, we don't know where you are going. How do we know the way? And Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. As heavenly as these words are, they were not given for a funeral. They were given to help a very arrogant and self-assured disciple named Peter, who is very much alive and not at his funeral. Always remember that the verse numbers and the chapter numbers in the Bible were never there when the Bible was written. They were not added into print until around the 1500s by Robert Stevens in the Geneva Bible. That's why I'm not a fan when people try to take the verse number or the chapter number and make it part of some special message of the text. It's just not there. So if that's true, Jesus was right that one does come after 38, since there are no chapter divisions. When Jesus spoke these words in John 14, it was in response and directly after these final words in John 13. Listen to it. Verse 38 of John 13, Jesus answered to Peter, will you lay down your life for me? Truly, I say to you, a rooster will not crow until you deny me 3 times. And here's what I love. Instead of Jesus leaving it there and letting Peter know, you're about to blow it big time, Jesus gives him hope. Peter says, I will lay down my life for you. Jesus says, you will deny me 3 times. We all know who's telling the truth in this, and that has to be Jesus. But there are 2 iconic bridges in the United States, the East Coast and the West Coast. The Brooklyn Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate was built in 1937, and its construction had, in the midst of its construction, 23 workers perished in the first half of the building of the bridge. The team did an amazing thing for the second half of the bridge. They built the largest safety net ever made in human history, $100,000 in 1937, and used it for the second half. Listen to this. When they built the second half of the Golden Gate Bridge, 0 lives died, and they built it 25% faster. The safety net made the difference. Peter is about to get the $100,000 net when he falls. Jesus says, what you say about not denying me, that's not going to happen. But I say that it is going to happen, but here's a safety net for you. You're not going to lose when you fail. In fact, you're going to still win when you fail. Peter, you will deny me and not keep your word, but I'm about to keep my word for you. I'm preparing a place for you. I will come again and receive you to myself, and where I am, you will be there also. This is not heaven. This is restoration. The prepared place was not in the clouds, but on a beach in John chapter 21. This is telling Peter, when you walk away from me, you still have a place with me. I will receive you, and we will be together. That's one following 38. God knows every failure and fall, and he has a net for us. Peter is about to fall into grace. Charles Spurgeon said this about God's grace. Grace puts its hand on the boasting mouth and shuts it once and for all. No more boasting, Peter. I think if Peter was counting, he too would say 1 comes after 38. And I'm so glad that it does. Thanks for joining the 260 Journey.